What's going on? Where am I? What's going on, guys? Pixelated here, back at it again with another video. Today we are comparing the Adidas foot sock versus the Adidas foot sock 2. What was that? That's not what they're called? Check it out, guys. We're comparing the Adidas house slippers versus the new iteration known as the house slippers 2. What you mean that's not it either? I swear that's what I read on Adidas website. Okay, for real this time, we're looking at the Adidas NMD City Sock versus the NMD City Sock 2. This is the truth segment where we compare two sneakers in terms of comfort and style and determine which comes out on top. And the first iteration of the City Sock 2 is the Kith X Naked City Sock 2. So this is what we're going to be looking at. The regular City Sock 2 has a few different style modifications, so we'll touch on that as well. But both of these are really great shoes. One's a collaboration, that would be this one. This one's a collaboration with two stores, while the other is directly from Adidas, not a collaboration of any sort. This is the OG colorway of the City Sock, the first colorway of the original City Sock to ever come out. In case any of you were wondering, we're going to start off with the first category, which is the comfort category, where we look at the midsole and how it pertains to comfort. The NMD City Sock in the OG colorway, which is the first iteration and release of the City Sock 1, has the legacy NMD midsole. This is that full boost midsole that is so popular and critically acclaimed for Adidas, not in the sense that it has the most comfort, but because of these EVA plugs. Over here, we have one on the rear heel. We have two on the rear heel, one on the medial side, one on the lateral, and one at the front near the toe box. The boost is satisfactory in the sense that you can feel it. It's there, but one thing it always got bashed for was that the Ultra Boost was 69 times better than the NMD. Yes, in that exact value. The truth is this midsole is not the most comfortable. It's a boost midsole, so it's inherently more comfortable than say Vans or Chucks. And this might be part fault of the Lego blocks embedded in the midsole, as it theoretically takes some of the bounce out of the boost and adds stability to the shoe, which is definitely noticeable as it's easier to balance in these. Say if you lose your footing versus an Ultra Boost, the Ultra Boost has a much more bouncy boost, but stability and balance is not nearly the same when you're just standing still. The NMD City Sock 2 that we have right here is a full boost midsole as well. It's similarly shaped to the NMD City Sock 1. We can see it's very thin at the front and just gradually becomes this really fat boost at the heel. It visibly has more boost and the pellets look a little bigger as well if you're willing to look that close and make that comparison. I don't know if you can see it through here, but I'm going to do my best to show you guys. All right, maybe that wasn't my best, but I'm seated, so that's all you get. What you will notice right away is that the Lego blocks have been removed, save for the one on the inside heel on the medial side. Now either Adidas must have noticed that these became far more comfortable when they did this, or they just didn't want to ruin the legacy of the City Sock 1 by putting the Lego blocks on each iteration. But the truth is you can definitely feel the boost more on the City Sock 2, whether it's the lack of Lego blocks or the fact that the midsole is just generally thicker and has more boost. It could be a bit of both. When it comes to stability and balance, these are surprisingly identical to the City Sock 1, even without the Lego blocks, and I feel like the reason for that might be because they did make the boost midsole a bit more widespread. As you can tell when you have them on, that the boost angles, you can see it right here kind of, and maybe if I put it like this you can probably see it right here. It angles and stretches out much further than the City Sock 1. Even in this area right here, it comes out a little more. So the City Sock 2 compensates for the lack of Lego blocks by spreading its boost farther across the land like an emperor spreads his reign. Don't ask me where I came up with that comparison, because I don't know. In conclusion, although the City Sock has the Lego blocks working in its favor for stability and still has a full boost midsole, the fact is the City Sock 2 has more boost and is a more comfortable experience when it comes to comfort, and there is almost no difference in balance and stability due to the wider midsole to compensate. For these reasons, the City Sock 2 wins the comfort category. We now move on to the second category, which is the fit, where we take a deeper look at the upper and how it contributes and works with the rest of the shoe to provide a better wearing experience. The City Sock 1 was way different than the current NMDs that were releasing at the time, which were the NMD R1 PK, which was the prime knit version, and the mesh versions, as it was more of a mid-top than a low-top sneaker, as most NMD R1s are. Low-top, actually I think all of them are, I don't know why I said most. As a style cue, I really prefer this, as I'm prone to favoring high-top sneakers over low-top sneakers. If you've watched my other videos, you know this. However, this might have actually worked against it when it came to the fit, because when I wear these, I went half a size down in these, by the way, as I did with the NMD City Sock 2s. I went half a size down in both of them, and they fit perfectly for me, although I've heard some say they prefer true to size for a little more room, because to be honest, it is a perfect fit. Like, I know if I went another half size down, it would be impossible for me to wear, but I just don't like having that extra room. So the toe box in these fits great at a half a size down. It's nice, snug, comfortable right here. It feels like how it's supposed to feel, like a sock. However, the sock collar opening and just the entire back area of the sneaker in general feels like nothing. It's very flimsy. It's not holding your foot in place in any way. The elastic, it sits comfortably around your ankle, but it doesn't really hold it down. Even when, say, you're on your toes or something, or you're bending this way, you will always see the sock collar slacking and not really touching parts of your foot. And this loose feeling didn't happen over time. Like, that elastic didn't get weaker over time. In fact, it's been like this from the start. So if you don't like that lack of support feel, which I really don't most of the time or at all, keep that in mind when you're considering the City Sock 1, as they're all like this. Like, I could probably wear these out to go out and like grab something if I had to, or just hang out with my friends if we don't have to walk around too much and are just lounging in a lounge. But I definitely wouldn't wear these for longer walks or something of that nature. The NMD City Sock 2 has a very unique looking ankle opening, which we're gonna get into. The toe box area feels almost identical to the City Sock 1, but I will say that it has a little more room. It's still snug, but it doesn't feel as tight around the toe box as the City Sock 1s feel. It's a very slight difference, but I like it nonetheless. So the opening of these has this one-piece disconnected burrito wrap style, which kind of looks like those overlapping necks they had on like every H&M sweater at one point, and subsequently makes this sneaker a low top versus the mid top of the City Sock 1. Of course, I wasn't too happy to find out that this version feels like more of a low top than the City Sock 1, but at the same time, I'm glad they went for this design because the elastic actually holds your foot down in place, and you can feel the secure grip on your ankle area. The City Sock 2 also has this, I don't know if I can show it to you guys in here, maybe I'll put some B-roll up. It also has this padding inside around the heel up to the midfoot area, which in my opinion is extremely important and something every City Sock needs. The difference here is ridiculous. I walked around downtown Toronto for about 4 to 5 hours one day with a friend in my OG City Socks, and by the time I was done, my feet were killing because of that repetitive friction and lack of heel support. I would never do it again. I feel like I wouldn't have nearly the same experience with the City Sock 2. The City Sock 2 has the heel support and the snug sock collar opening. Features the City Sock 1 is sorely lacking, and those are what make all the difference. For those reasons, the City Sock 2 wins in the fit department. On to our last category of this segment, it's the style department. Disclaimer, style is truly subjective, so even after I make my decision, be mindful of what your taste is and what you prefer better. That's what we're all about here. Make your own choices. Know what you like. Don't worry about what other people like. Mine is merely a suggestion and reflection of my taste. With that being said, let's get into it. There are a few key differences here. The NMD City Sock 2 has this labia style overlapping sock opening, which I'm a huge fan of, not only because of the added comfort, but it just looks super fancy and unique. It has this thick leather pull tab on the back, which may be exclusive to the Kith Naked City Sock 2, but that's what we're comparing at the moment, so I'll give it points for that. These ones also have this white leather stripe with the rose gold 3 stripes printed on it, going from the top of the opening to the toe box. Most people were not fans of this design choice at all. I, however, really like it versus the regular City Sock 2. The regular City Sock 2 has this stripy patch pattern that just looks like hives growing on the sneaker or something. I'm really not a fan of that, but maybe it'll grow on me depending on the colorway. So I, for one, actually like this stripe. It's a bold design choice, and I'm all for bold design choices when they work correctly. Lastly, this heathered strawberry sherbet colorway is just so pleasing to the eye. It's not something you can wear every day since it won't match most of your outfits unless you're a pastel god or something and only rock bright fruity colorways, but I do happen to like it a lot. The thicker and wider boost midsole gives the sneaker a more aggressive outline / silhouette and serves to make the sneaker look better too, but the lack of EVA plugs isn't something I'm a fan of. At least they left the diagonal indents on the lateral heel of the midsole to represent the rear block's grave. RIP rear Lego block. The front block didn't get the same tribute. I'm sorry dude, I don't know why Adidas doesn't like you. The OG City Sock, being the first City Sock in the NMD lineup, has the legacy NMD Lego blocks, which makes all the difference. The Lego blocks are all black with the Adidas text on the front Lego block, block. While the upper pattern is this black and white striped pattern, it's a design made entirely of stripes. As you can see, they're segmented into 3 different sections, which I've deemed as an unofficial abstract 3 stripes. I think this is a really cool, unique design, and let's not forget these glow in the dark. I personally think glow in the dark sneakers is kind of gimmicky since you don't see it 99% of the time, but these do look nice for a minute when you do get to catch it, so I'll give them half a point for that. It has a long black pull tab at the back with the 3 stripes text in multiple languages. I was lucky enough to get Japanese text on the back of mine, which is the coolest text out of all the ones that they use. The rest are basically just the same English alphabets in different languages. I have to say, this was a really close call for me, but I'll have to give this one to the City Sock 1, only because we're using the OG colorway. The upper pattern was something that was really unique when it first released, and it still is, and I've loved every colorway of the City Sock 1 that's released, aside from the gray colorway, and the fact that it's a mid-top is more my preference. At the same time, I know the City Sock 2 will get more wear from me than the City Sock 1 ever has, just for the comfort properties alone, and I particularly think the Kith X Naked City Sock 2 is an amazing colorway and design. I love the sandstone colorway as well, but knowing the rest of the City Sock 2s won't look nearly the same when it comes to the midfoot design of the shoe, plus the lack of Lego blocks on the lateral side is something I'm not a huge fan of, and is also something that works in the City Sock 1's favor. I also forgot to mention the patch on the inside of the City Sock 1 is something I'm a huge fan of as well. As you can see, no patch on the City Sock 2, although I don't think it would look as good on it either way. For these reasons, the City Sock 1 wins the style category. The City Sock 1 won this battle. However, the City Sock 2 has won 2 of the 3 categories and wins the war. And there you have it, folks. Overall, if you're trying to decide which one's more comfortable, it's the City Sock 2, hands down. There is no way to even have a preference on this matter. It's the City Sock 2. When it comes to style though, you can make your pick. If that's what you prefer over comfort, then so be it. With that being said, that's the end of my review. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you took something from it, please hit that like button. Let me know if you agree with my decision on these or not. And please subscribe for more juicy content. Catch you later. Pixelated out.